If you want a second car and a vehicle for work around the house and one for hunting and fishing trips and one the youngsters could use for odd jobs, mister, you want a universal Jeep. Only the universal Jeep can go in mud, go in sand, go through snow or boggy land, tow a boat, clear a road, mow a lawn, haul a load. Yes, the smart buy is Universal Jeep, a versatile workhorse. Who wouldn't rather have a Universal Jeep than just an ordinary second car? Phone your Jeep dealer. Arrange to test drive the all-purpose Universal Jeep.
Look at Kyle.
The Rubicondo build was a roller coaster of emotions from the beginning to the end, man. It was just crazy the whole way. You know, it was right away we knew it was a good concept. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We were way crazy ambitious, but we knew it was like probably within our wheelhouse, and we'd figure it out somehow. And so we just jumped right into it. But we found the top Jeep right away, but we were struggling to find the bottom Jeep. And then around that time is when Chaz passed away.
One of our utterly valuable employees that was heavily involved with our business ended up just passing away unexpectedly. So that was tough to deal with in its own regard.
Yeah, I reached out to him, in fact, the morning of the news, because it was basically the morning, and then the afternoon they sent out the wellness check. So it was incredibly sad, incredibly scary to see it that close, to have it come that close.
Just really devastated when we got the news about Chaz. He had a lot of heart. He loved Quake, and he loved the crazy things that we would do, and being a part of that experience was, you could tell he enjoyed it a lot.
His parents, Frank and Jean, came out and they were packing up his stuff, and we were over there helping, and it's kind of like, hey, I got this idea and I'd like to turn it into a tribute build, and would you guys like to get involved, and could we do this? And they were just, man, they were really into it.
That's when the whole attitude of the build kind of changed too. It went from this crazy idea and this project that we almost were going to scrap at one point. And this kind of happened, and we made that last minute huge push just to do something, not only for the FreakShow build aspect, but just to kind of reach that next level, to pay homage to someone that has passed on, that was so involved in everything that we did.
So I called Joel and the crew over at Auto Definitions and was like, hey, we got another build, man.
I'm Joel Smith with Auto Definitions, Claremore, Oklahoma. Kelly called me one night and was telling me about a SEMA build that he had an idea for. I thought it was gonna be for like next year's SEMA, because we're already like less than a month away from this year's SEMA.
Joel, we all had just gotten here, and Joel was like, all right, there's this wild idea out there. Said we were gonna be stacking a Jeep on top of another Jeep.
I was pretty much immediately in. I thought it was one of the coolest things I've ever heard and I've seen, and want to be a part of it.
Right away, they were like, yeah, we're super into it. We want to do it. And they had met Chaz actually, and they were down for the cause.
When it got here and it came to unloading, we got the one that runs and drives off the trailer. And Joel's like, all right, I'm gonna get the Bobcat, unload the other one. And then next thing I know, I have a ratchet strap in my hand trying to keep tension on this thing from falling off the forks.
Oh my God. Dude, that is gonna be stupid high. A little bit more. Right there. Oh my God.
To kind of get a picture in our heads of, all right, how tall is this thing gonna be? Is it gonna be over 12 foot? Like, how are we gonna do this?
I remember driving down to Utah. This body was a little bit rougher than what we had really anticipated. The hood wasn't in great shape. I mean, a lot of the doors had dents in them, quite a bit of scratches.
Oh, yeah. Oh, car seat. This thing's clean, man. Clean.
Couple pairs of shades. Oh, yeah. Yeah, what do you think? I think we got it squared away.
I was like, well, at least they're the same color, so that's good.
All the parts, when they started showing up, it was slightly overwhelming at first, but it's mostly stuff that I deal with on a day-to-day.
That will put the smile on my face.
Yes. I like it a lot.
A lot. Ah. And then more parts just kept showing up.
So then I'm like, how are we gonna transport it? How's it gonna be stable enough? All these other things are going through my head. What do they say? Time to do some sketchy doo-dah, doo-dah.
I think the first time I came down, the Jeep was still sitting in the parking lot.
It was just stacking 2 Jeeps. It was just a lot of trial and error. We had a lot of problems and just figuring out what to mount to, where to mount it, how we're gonna mount it.
And then when Kelly told me, hey, we can't permanently screw up the bottom Jeep. So we can't weld stuff to it and all. It's gotta be boltable. It's gotta be where we could turn it back to 100% stock and it'd be perfectly fine.
As it was going, everybody just started to get that aha moment.
So when we first put it up there and started putting some weight, we immediately recognized that this lower cage is not gonna support it.
We reached out to Hard Rock 4x4 and asked those guys for some support, and they came up with their ultimate roll cage, which fit in there and really, really strengthened the bottom Jeep quite a bit. We couldn't have done it without it. The thing is super badass.
Quadratech was an awesome team to work with. They have a great product, and they really stand behind it. Their winches went right on, no problems. Great looking.
So I'm calling Kelly to follow up what the wheel situation was. And next thing I know, we've got a freight truck pulling in with 6 TIS wheels and tires. And I'm like, perfect, problem solved.
The TIS wheels that are, I think, 22 by 12, wrapped in a Hercules tire. It was a game changer right there. We had the width, we had the stance, they looked good, and they rode even better. Like, I mean, it was awesome. The tires don't make much noise. It just topped it off. It was a big part of the look.
Aries' new line of side steps are really cool. They look like a normal side step, but then you open the door and they're like an amp board. They drop down. Great product, really easy to install, clean wiring, and the bumpers are nice. The fenders all paired together really made that Jeep come together.
We knew with all the weight that we were going to have a really robust, really good suspension. So I called Dennis over at Terraflex, because they make some great stuff. And I was like, hey, Dennis, can you help us out with another build? And he was like, you know, I thought I told you not to call me anymore. And I was like, well, look, we're doing this stacker build in this thing. And we went all the way through that. And he was like, man, that's a pretty cool idea. And like, okay, we can help you, but just don't call me again. And so, Dennis, love you. Thank you, man. It really, I don't think we could have done this without you. Thanks.
DS18 Audio, they're always helping out with you guys on all our builds, and the quality is great, and just this sounds amazing. It's always fun to install their stuff.
Yeah. What?
Oh my God.
Thank you, DS18, for giving us a massive discount on an amazing sound system. Yeah.
The last few days was almost absolute hell. None of us were sure at that point.
So I saw those guys kind of getting a little bit behind and the stress on their face, you know, with everything, and kind of had a couple of those calls where they're like, man, I don't think we're going to make it, and we're stressing. And
there's some such late nights that I live an hour from the shop, so there was times I didn't feel like driving. So I brought my air mattress a couple nights, and then once we built the Rubicondo out, I slept in it.
After the first 3 days, I was just so sleep deprived that I don't know what I said to people. I don't know what was going on. I just knew that I needed to get this done and this. And
they'd already called in some of their reinforcements, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to send And on. So I called up Andon. He flew down there and stepped in, man, and he just, he was just running things, in his sandals.
So I flew in on, I believe, on a Monday, and was just kind of scoping out where they were at with things, and got straight to work.
He finished up designing the cage.
I mean, he was such a center point for so many people, because I mean, you got tensions rising, tempers flaring, parts not wanting to work together like they should.
Yeah. I like it.
What do you think?
It's nice.
It's nice, right?
Very nice.
Nice. NASCAR.
He kind of sets him up a little workstation on a little roll around steel table, and I was like, "You need a chair?" He goes, "No, I don't sit." I was like, "Okay."
When it came to bolting them together, there was no way that any of us could fit or reach or anything. So once again, Joel's 4-year-old son comes in, has to put a washer on a bolt, stick the bolt through the frame, put another washer, a lock washer, put the nut on, and start tightening it down. He had the kahunas. He did it.
We were nervous starting to the first couple, and then after that, we were like, I think we got it. So.
Got the bag and now everything lit. I went all the way through here and back to get you lit.
I mean, there was times that, not scared, but I was at that point. I was like, all right, this is not worth it. I'm done. I'm not doing it. And you know what? 10 minutes later, I'm back inside working.
Really, the highest compliment I know how to give someone as a builder is when you make it look easy. And all those guys, they filed in, they did what they know how to do, and they did it well. And they made it look easy.
First of all, getting that thing loaded, we had to go wheel it around for a little bit and let everybody see it, but getting it up on the truck, I don't think any of us really understood or knew what to expect once we got that thing on.
Going down the road was hilarious because you would have semi trucks come up to you and kind of start passing you, and then you would see them slow down and like start taking pictures out of their windows of the truck.
Yeah, so we're coming down the strip in Vegas, and people are just like, because there's thousands of people on the sidewalk, and they're all just taking pictures of it and all this other stuff. I was like, oh, Kelly about to be pissed. We're showing everybody.
I was so nervous until I saw it actually at SEMA that it was just going to tip over somewhere along the way. Like no matter how they strapped it or what they did, it was a big, gigantic sail and just waiting for some big wind to just flip that whole trailer. But
well, we have resorted to driving the Rubicondo, and let me tell you, it's a little sketchy.
And we had word that the Rubicondo had just gotten into town after a crazy drive. And I remember I saw the thing from a few hundred yards away as it was turning to come kind of around into the parking lot.
I was so scared that they weren't going to make it on time, but I remember I was like racing down for load in, and I was stuck in traffic, and I could see them on another street going the other way, like this floating Jeep above all the cars like cruising by, and I was like, nice, they're going to make it.
We got it into the booth, and we had to install the Overland Vehicle Systems tent on top. It took a forklift and 5 or 6 guys to get it in position, and pretty much everything stopped around us, all eyes on us, trying to get this thing up there. People yelling, I hope someone falls, and you guys are dumb. But we got it done, and then it was a sight to see. Once you got it done and get up in there, you could see the show.
It stood out there for sure. I mean, definitely when you'd be walking down the aisleway, you could see a Jeep on a Jeep with the rooftop tent with the big Quake logo. I mean, this thing was ridiculous.
Every time I look at it, I trip out. Like that's just the Rubicondo is awesome. It's one of my favorite builds.
Hearing the story about Chaz and his history with Quake, it really was an emotional time. I got to meet the family and the kids.
So about the only thing that kept me wanting to go forward with the build and not telling Kelly I'm not doing it no matter what was for Chaz, because it was a tribute for him and for his kids to be able to see it. I did meet him at a show one time, and great guy. Like, he's just like we knew each other forever.
The Rubicondo, the tribute build, it was a very humbling experience, really. I mean, to be able to be a part of something like that, you know, his family, his kids, that everybody's gonna be able to look back on. I mean, this is a one-of-a-kind build that nobody's ever done, nobody's ever seen.
Chaz was an awesome guy. He was just big-hearted, one of the biggest hearts I've come in contact with. He loved everything, and he was absolutely face first into Quake. He loved Quake.
Like hearing stories of him and like from the different people at Quake and at shows, and I mean, he was just a lovable guy.
But it was really exciting to basically immortalize him with this Jeep, because you know this is going to be everywhere forever now, and it'll be a really nice tribute. So whenever they want to see their dad or be in a presence, they can just look at these videos and know that he was a part of this.
What do you think of the Rubicondo?
I really like it.
Special thanks to Joel, Kyle, Andon, Dale, Todd, Jay, Josh, Grant, everyone involved. Thank you to the sponsors, you know, for helping us with this tribute build and the Rubicondo. And I just feel honored that his family would let us, you know, use his Jeep and make it a part of this build so we can immortalize him in SEMA history, and something that I hope someday his kids just, you know, stumble upon this video and see that there was a band of misfit builders that loved and cared about his dad, and he was one of us, and that we won't forget him, and that we were blessed that he was in our lives. You know, for sure he's gonna be missed, and I just want those boys to know that I talk to your dad all the time, and he would tell me how much he loved you guys and how important the weekends was that he would have with you guys, and why he came to Colorado. You were everything to him, and I know this doesn't make anything any better, but we wanted something, you to have something good to look at and to remember that he was loved and that he loved you.